Yo, what's up? I'm home and I got a bunch of stuff to do. But I wanted to do this while I'm up and before I get too busy. Trying to relax. Shout out Deep Left. I just accepted the calendar invite. I was very loopy yesterday as I was driving from Boise back to Phoenix. And we were DMing, and then at some point, I kind of, I guess, lost the ability. Why is my camera not working all of a sudden? I don't know. Stop it, dude. It's face detect, Holmes, not. Oh my goodness, I gotta mess with that. Okay, I think it's working now. But yeah, I was driving, and at some point, I lost my ability to think. But yeah, I just accepted that calendar invite. That works for me, definitely. Well, I don't know about definitely. But as far as I'm concerned, that works for me. Now, as far as things outside of my control are concerned, who knows? I guess we'll see when we see. But Wednesday at 6 a.m. my time, I think is what it is. That works for me. Yeah, I'm interested. I don't really know. I don't think I have much to say about anything. But yeah, man, I'm down for the cause, so it'll be dope. Yeah, I just put all my stuff back together. I got up a couple hours ago this morning and still buzzing, still kind of riding the wave from TUCon. And yeah, I was like, well, I have to get this done. Like, this is something I need to get done. I also, like, there's other stuff that, like, are pressing that I need to get, like, done. And then there's, other stuff too. But I just got everything put back together as far as camera, microphone, and stuff like that. I feel like I'm like forgetting something important. I'm sure it'll come to me later. But as far as, that's what I need to do. I need to add me here. Yeah, I'm just reset. Wait, whoa, what the heck is going on here, dude? Oh, this is just a display capture. Okay, well, I can do that when I'm not streaming. Yeah, that's me. See, why is this here? Why is this? I don't know why that's there. I remember putting it there. I just don't remember what I was thinking. And this is okay. That. No. Dude, I don't know. I'm like lagging hard, dude. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if that has any PII on it. Shout out, Evan. That's your piece. Oh, I probably shouldn't show this either. This is a book I'm reading for Audible. So it's illegal. You guys are getting illegal access to a book that's not published yet. And it's not from the Theory Underground crew. Like, I'm pretty sure if I like accidentally showed like some of Mikey's book or some of Dave's book or someone's book that I know, I'm sure they'd be okay with it. They'd be like, yeah, it's cool. I mean, shit, I was streaming, recording Time Energy just a little bit. And I actually I actually plan to do a little bit more streaming of Underground Theory and Mikey's book as well. Not like I'm going to stream the whole thing, but part of it, because it's interesting, right? It's an interesting window into the medium. And from my perspective too, audiobooks, like as a large consumer of audiobooks, and now being on the side of, producing audiobooks, it's different. It's different than, the same transition, I guess, happened from, YouTube content from being just a consumer. The first time I worked on a podcast, but it was a podcast. We did a podcast and we did like a skit show. And I was like 98% of the time behind the camera. Like I made a few appearances. But it was more than anything, I was just like behind the scenes. So that was like an interesting transition. And then, so going from like just a consumer of the content to like a producer of the content was interesting. And then taking the step further when I actually when Dave finally dragged my ass onto screen, which for him I am forever grateful, but also hateful. Because I miss my anonymity. I don't know. It's not anonymity. It's just irrelevance. Like if you want to take part in any conversations online, like you have to just kind of be here. Like there is no real way to like passively engage in the conversation. And maybe I thought I was engaging in the conversation, but in this more passive way where I like never came on videos and never really like became a head on someone's screen as they would watch and listen to me talk. Maybe. But now like the only way to take part in any of these conversations is to just, grin and bear it, get over the anxiety, the fear or whatever of like being seen, and get in there and do it. And I think it's totally valid to not take part in conversations. And I envy people who can just do that and just like, yeah, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not with that. I'm just doing me. But I'm not that guy. I do want to put my 2 cents in, and I've been thinking about it a lot. 'Cause like, I don't feel like, I have much, to say that I think people ought to listen to. What I do think is we're kind of doing the thing. We're kind of forcing the issue, and demonstrating that a different way to engage, a different way to think, a different modality, a different relation to the medium, is possible. Kind of showing people that it's possible and having a little bit of fun while we do it, and kind of creating demand for more, kind of showing people that there's a way to have more, there's a way to do more, and it's worth doing. And I think that for me is like the biggest contribution. Now, I of course have my own thoughts on things in the way of theory and figuring stuff out and being the smart understander guy. But at the end of the day, yeah, whatever, dude. Don't listen to me. Do the thing is what matters most, I think. But anyway, back to this book that I accidentally leaked a little bit. This is a book I'm reading for Audible, and I think if it was like a Theory Underground thing, it wouldn't be a big deal. It'd be like, oh, cool, that's actually kind of cool. But this dude is definitely not from Theory Underground. And so I'm reading this book, and I shouldn't leak it to you all. So definitely don't read the screen right now. But what else do I got going on? Society of the PSYOP, Part 1, UFOs and the Future of Media. Trevor Paglen. Trevor Paglen is interesting. I just saw him on the Joshua Citarella, I think. I was like, oh, cool. I would like to know more. So I'm learning more. But anyway, I think it looks like everything, for the most part, is working. I am listening to some music, and I don't know if that's going to be like, I don't know what the mix is going to be like, because I'm not currently listening to the YouTube live stream. But I'm gonna go back and watch that and see if that works. But everything else, I think. Hold on, let me like go look and make sure, because like my talk, one of my talks, my first talk at TUCon was the audio was deep fried because I'm a silly boy and I didn't double check to make sure that it was good, but it looks good. Now, looking and being are two different things, right? Appearance and essence are two different things. But it looks like everything is good. So I'm going to go ahead and just hope that it is good. I unintentionally did an absurd Nick Land impression at TUCon. My talk on suicide, and why we should not celebrate it, we should not romanticize it, and we should also not treat it with kid gloves. We should treat it seriously, and treat it like the, abject failure that it is, in all things. It's a huge structural issue, super duper huge. People fall through the cracks. People are born into the cracks. But then we have like cultural tendencies that really kind of glorify and accelerate this suicidal way of life. And it's convenient for capital. It's not convenient for us. It seems like the people who care most, people who want the most change, are often the most prone to suicide. And I get it. I mean, I been there, right? And I don't know, it's weird. It's like it's a personal issue that I think over personalizing it like kind of misses the point, because we're all in this together, whether we're suicidal freaks or whether we're just people who manage to turn that part of themselves off and grin and bear it. But it's still a tragedy, right? We're all stifled. We're all running out of room to breathe. We're all suffocating. So I think like over personalizing it, misses the point. I don't want to tell a sob story, human interest stories. I think those serve their purpose. That's not what I'm trying to do. So it's hard to talk about because it's also hard to talk about because I do care, and like saying things on the internet has consequences and there are repercussions, and I've firsthand seen people take things the wrong way, and I don't want to take part in that at all. So it's kind of like an issue. It's I don't want to say impossible, but it's very difficult to kind of deal with this issue in this medium. It kind of really does matter to have like actual physical spaces to deal with these issues, because these are more human issues, and here this medium is more machinic, and we could do a lot with that, but there's just something missing when it comes to online communication and embodied communication. And I've spent a lot of time with a lot of people now via Theory Underground, and I think that's one thing that just like continues to prove out that like, I mean, I've had some pretty good rapport, I guess, online with people via Theory Underground, and then you come into the meat space, and the way it changes, the way that like this two-dimensional shape gets filled out, and it like gains texture, it gains depth, and it becomes a three-dimensional person rather than whatever. I don't know. We think a lot about that. I think I write a lot about that. I think a lot of other people similarly think and write about it. And that's what, kind of critical media theory, that's why we do that, because those are important questions. Also kind of theorizing the underground, because theorizing the underground deals with that. Like what are we doing? We're trying to communicate, and in this like ultimately non-communicative space. And yeah, interesting. A lot of big questions. But just being in the same room with a person changes things. Um, and I'd say in a good way. I was trying to think if there was ever if I have a negative example, because I don't like to be the sunshine and rainbows guy. Although I think I do that a lot. Um, I think like my demeanor and my disposition. I think it's easy I think it's easy for me to like just be the negative, grumpy dude. Um, because that's like lowest effort. Like yeah, everything sucks. Like I am miserable. I am always unhappy. I don't have to. I don't have to try to be that way. Like I just always am. But I don't know. Like I think I also do the like sunshine and rainbows thing um a lot too, because I think that is important. But I also think it's important to not overdo it on that. So I don't know. Now I'm just kind of spiraling. Um but yeah, I was trying to think of a negative example just to maybe juxtapose all the good things I've been saying, and everyone else that was there at TUCon, and everyone else that we met up with on tours has said about Meet Space, filling out the virtual space. And yeah, I really don't think I've had a negative experience with someone with whom I've developed an online rapport, and then meeting them in real life, and then turns out like, oh, that guy actually sucks. Um, Now that I have had experiences with people with whom I have no online rapport, and then meeting them in person, and I'm like, oh, that guy sucks. Um, but it's different because like I didn't have like I didn't really have uh a back and forth. I didn't have a discourse. There was no background with that person. Like I was aware of them, or maybe I was unaware of them, or um, I mean, it is weird that like people will be like bring up stuff I said. Because then it's like, well, that means you have an idea of me. That's weird, dude. That's scary. Yeah, it's scary. Communication is scary. It like it hurts to talk and to know that you're not being heard. Um, and like that is part of communication, and that's why it's not just like language. That's why it's not just the code. That's why it's not just like this mathematized like or arithmetic like 1 + 1 = 2. Um, Meaning relies on like shared understanding, shared grounds, like embodied personal relation. Well, it doesn't have to be embodied. Like it can be online, but it's just so much easier when it's embodied. Like when you have like you can understand why I choose to use word A rather than word B, and the way I speak and my intonation and my nonverbals and my like all these other parts of communication really fill out meaning. But even then it fails. But it's okay, because if you're committed to the conversation, or if you're committed to the project or the work or whatever's going on between the people, then it's okay, because we kind of incorporate these failures already. But when we live on the internet and everything is this like immediate finished polished product, and it's like this is the thing and that is it, no ifs ands or buts about it, and there's no room for this like development and this progression, that negativity doesn't exist. That's what, like when we talk about like this pure positivity in this like overly positivistic world, like that's what it is. Like things are just like projected out into the world, and it's like that's it, this is the thing, and we're like erasing the that negativity, and in that negativity is where we live. um so it's important to have that, and that's why my podcast is called the Negativity Hour. And that's why at TUCon this weekend, negativity was a theme that came up multiple times. And there were other themes that came up multiple times as well, and I was pleased with all of them. And I'm excited to follow up. We'll be doing an IMSTU soon, and I imagine a couple IMSTUs to kind of go over, digest, ruminate, regurgitate, and kind of deal with all the things that happened. But for the time being, yeah, I think everything's working, and I think I'm good here. So I think I'm gonna go do other things for a while, and then I'm gonna relax, and that's gonna be cool because I love relaxing. I wonder, yeah, like the. Can you guys hear my music? I don't know. I don't like OBS's levels. But I'm not doing it the way I like to do it because I got ahead of myself. I prefer to use my other mixer because the levels are better. OBS's levels just they always seem not great. But anyway, yeah, dude, I'm jamming. But yeah, I got my everything back together. I got my camera, my microphone, my interface. Yeah, dude, everyone that uses the microphone, my Pink Rode at TUCon, that was the microphone I used to record audiobooks and stuff. So, yeah, you probably inhaled some of my spit, and I'm gonna inhale some of your spit, and that's not weird or gross.